Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and droids across our beloved empire, to a really fun video that we have lined up today. When is it not fun around here? Where we are going to talk about a big milestone, not for my main account, but for the 2021 free-to-play account we started last year. We are going to do a one-year roster review. What does it look like playing Galaxy of Heroes free-to-play? We're going to talk about what we did well, things I wish I did a little bit earlier, talk about the Zetas, I got the teams I'm using, and what is next for this free-to-play account going in 2022. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying this free-to-play series. I understand that a lot of you guys watching, you guys are already mid-game, end-game, and the beginning game doesn't always change as much, but from last year it seemed like you guys did enjoy it, and hopefully you guys still enjoy it. And we're going to kind of talk about what do we have in plan for 2022 Farming Guide? The most popular questions, Arnold, when's the 2022 Farming Guide coming out? We'll answer that question here, but here we go. This was a year ago. 1,290 galactic power. Let me show you where we are at right now. We're knocking at the front door of Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, and technically I should have him unlocked with this month, but we're going to talk about some shortcomings that I am willing to admit in a few short moments when we get to that part of the video here. But as you can see, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 gear 13s, and we're also closing in on the last two characters. Palpatine's going to be gear 13 by this weekend. Get our vet smuggler Han up, and all we got to do at that point is get this guy, and this guy up to Relic 7, and we'll be good to go. And of course, the most difficult part of the Supreme Leader Kylo Ren grind is the fleets, and luckily we're pretty much almost there as well. And we're going to talk about some things that really annoy me going through 2021 that CG still has not addressed. There's a lot of stuff in there, so hopefully you guys are buckled down and ready to go here. First thing I want to talk about is just kind of summarize where we started off last year. Last year, if you guys remember the 2020 Farming Guide, which, spoiler, it's still more or less going to be the guide for this year. There was not a lot of changes that have changed how we should start as new players in Galaxy. Only a few things were added last year in terms of legendaries. We had Master Kenobi, Lord Vader, Executor Starkiller, and those are some really endgame things for the most part. Those aren't really things brand new players are going to be chasing for. Starkiller might be one of those, but I don't think he's a great first thing to chase after as a brand new player. More or less, the farming guide that we have planned for 2022 is going to be the same, but just adding the new stuff so you can kind of see how they fit in the grand picture of the game. We chase after Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, which is the core of our farming guide, but also as a reaction to farming Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, we got tons of legendaries, and if you need guides, holy cow, we got a lot of guides. We had, I believe, the lowest star Padme unlock guide. We got Grandmaster Yoda, BB-8, R2-D2, and a variety of other legendaries that we got built up while we were pursuing Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. So we'll leave a link to this place if you don't know what's going on, and that's why I kind of want to put out there the most popular question is when's the 2022 farming guide? There's no need to wait. The core of the guide is pretty much going to be the same. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren is still fantastic first GL to chase after. He actually got better in 2021, in my opinion, and it also helps you go for other legendaries. So the core is going to be the same. There's not going to be anything too transformative or new coming in 2022 because not a lot changed for new players, unlike going from 2020 to 2021. Double shard drops, which were amazing. We had a couple new Galactic Legends, like Sith Eternal, for example. Not much changing. What's not broken, there's not much need to fix it. If anything, we just got to update and add a few more things in there. This guide was a lot of fun to chase after. Had a balance of Grand Arena, Squad Arena, and that part was no longer relevant. Ships, territories, territorials. It's been such a balanced approach. We're chasing after Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. We'll talk about where we're going after this. Let's hop over to the game real quick, and I actually want to talk about a few things that I wish I did a little bit earlier on my free-to-play account. The most important thing that I kind of learned in 2021, man, I know Genos are not great endgame, but they're so cornerstone early game and even sort of mid game. They were critical for me to put a harder, more aggressive defense because my first order is pretty tough to beat when it comes to defense with a full gear 13 team, and I've been able to have a decent reliance on my Genos, and thanks to the gear changes, light gear changes, it wasn't anything significant. I was able to get my Genos to a higher gear like my Genos in Spy and do some amazing work, and Genos were a menace on defense. Unfortunately, Genos are a lot easier to beat now. With the introduction of Mara Jade, I've been a huge fan of her. I preach her on my end game account, early game account. My Palpatine, Vader, Mara Jade do amazing work. Even at the low stars and the low gear that she's at, do not sleep on her. That's pretty much the number one thing in terms of a team I wish I farmed a little bit earlier. And another thing, this is kind of more me personally nerfing myself. I've seen a lot of guides out there And when they exit the guides, it's kind of based on the assumption you're an amazing guild and you can get Wat Tambor in a month or two. I've actually stayed in the same guild for the entire year, and by no means, I love the guys there, they're cool. It's not an amazing guild. We can only do territory battle Hoth. I have not done a single GOTB. I still don't have Treya unlocked in scouts. That shows how many times I've done the Sith Lord. So I purposely nerfed myself. So what you're seeing here is being in a mediocre low tier guild this whole entire time, and we're almost at Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. So you don't need to be in an amazing guild to pursue a Galactic Legend. Sith Eternal, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, Rey, even Jedi Master Luke are fairly accessible, even outside of being in a good guild. So obviously, if I wanted to excel this account even more, I should be in a really good guild, which I could. I have the connections, but I purposely want to hold myself back and not give myself that sort of easy push to amplify the progress even more. Those are really the two main things that I really should have addressed in 2020. Some intentional, some unintentional. And the other thing I want to talk about, the most painful thing in 2021 is ships. I don't understand why CG doesn't want to just take the time to add double drops for ships. It's the worst process ever. And the fact that the finalizer is still so difficult to this day to farm. I just unlocked them a month or two ago. Hopefully the next month or two we'll have them at 5 stars needed for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. It just blows my mind that the finalizer is still an annoying force to deal with. And the worst part is I missed out on a month because I need to get my last 2 shards of Tarkin. And guess what? The finalizer event came right before Tarkin. So I missed out on a whole month. Only reappearing once a month is disgraceful. I hope in 2021 ships becomes an easier part to farm in Galaxy of Heroes. Very unfortunate to see ships kind of be left to the side, but maybe 2022 there's going to be hope that ships is going to look a lot better down the road. Let's talk about Zetas as well as teams that I built. Yes, obviously the First Order is the focus of the account because, well, we're trying to get Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, what I think one of the best overall Galactic Legends inside of Galaxy of Heroes. And we're going to have afterwards talk about where we're going as the next step here and whether or not we'll start a new account, a third account. I'm not 100% sure if we're going to start a third account just yet here. First Order, the main bread and butter. We need to get Emperor Palpatine for Kylo Ren, and you get Darth Vader practically for free in Galaxy of Heroes. It baffles my mind because at one point Vader took like 2 years to get the 7 stars, or a year at something like that. You get Vader to 7 stars within the first few months of playing without even trying. And luckily Palpatine, Vader, they were all right before, but once Mara Jade came into the game, I hope they add an implementation, or they implement some way so people could unlock old marquees and get them for free like I did. This is one of the most impactful things for a lot of free-to-play new players. A low-star Mara Jade, a Palpatine Mara Jade, just roll over so many things. I've beaten Jedi Revens. I've beaten the annoying Geonosians even before my Palpatine got up to gear 12. This team has been fantastic. I've also passively built up some bounty hunters. You need bounty hunter ships. You can't play Galaxy Heroes without Boss. My bounty hunters have done some good work when it comes to ships. Being in my early Tarkin fleet, for example, the Houndstooth you need for pretty much everything to unlock Galactic Legends, to unlock the Executors at that point. Some pretty gnarly stuff with the bounty hunters. Let's take a tour of some of the legendaries that we've unlocked and the raid characters that we've also unlocked. We've got a lot. Palpatine and Thrawn, of course, are necessary. When we start off with the Phoenix as our first team, still a fantastic starting point for the most part. That leads to a lot of stuff out there. You need Phoenix. The thing is, you don't want to overgear Phoenix. We've done an updated Thrawn guide. I have not touched my Phoenix gear ever since I unlocked Thrawn. The goal is, once you get Thrawn unlocked, you stop gearing him up, and we got him unlocked at level 82 with some pretty low gear 10, gear 8 gear. This is definitely one of the lowest gear guides you're going to see for Phoenix unlocking Thrawn. Again, check out that playlist if you're struggling with it. Check out some other legendaries that we unlocked. Indirectly as a consequence of farming up the Genos, which are important to get Wat Tambor, and of course, if we're going to be striving for a Jedi Master Kenobi down the line, which we'll talk about how the new GLs kind of fit into the picture. We made a fantastic video, actually accidental. We got Padme at extremely low gear, not even a gear toll spy. The gear toll spy is a recent thing. Padme with low gear Genos, it's kind of crazy to see how easy it was to beat the Padme Amidala event. Again, another fantastic character. It's a character I'm trying to build up a little bit more. On the sider, of course, we got our Grandmaster Yoda because we farmed Bastila. We got our Phoenix Jedi put together, and of course, you get some random Jedi out of the bronzing packs. So we got him unlocked. R2D2 haven't touched much yet. He's one of the more lackluster legendaries in the game right now. Not much he's needed for. And then, of course, because we got our First Order, we also were able to get BB-8 unlocked. But there's really no immediate plans for him. So as you can see, there are even though, yes, the end goal is a Galactic Legend, we're able to build upon other good teams like the Genosians, unlock a lot of other legendaries along the way while we're striving for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. And here's my Han Solo. I do have a 7-star Han Solo, and I do have a 7-star General Kenobi, but my Darth Traya is not quite unlocked yet, and that's just not being in an amazing guild. And that's one of those things. We made plenty of guides, best tips and tricks. Not much has changed since the last year we made this video. Get into the best guild you can possibly. You don't need to purposely stay in a bad guild to nerf yourself. If you can get in a good guild, take that opportunity, because being in a good guild, you can't play Galaxy Heroes and get as far as you'd like without being in some sort of good guild. But we should have Trey unlocked, hopefully, within the next month or two. That would be nice to have, not a necessity, however. So, and let's take a look at my Zetas. People ask, what Zetas do I have? I'm actually sitting on a lot of Zetas, mainly in preparation for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, but I'm ready to apply them on Jedi Knight Revan. We're going to talk about in a moment, what am I striving for currently on this particular free-to-play account. But hopping on over here, you can see my list of Zetas that we have here. We got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 Zetas, and I'm waiting to get my Omicron on Captain Phasma. Close. We're not quite there yet. Pretty much all those teams that we broke down, those are the Zetas we applied. We got all the core First Order Zetas of Kylo Ren and Mass, First Order Stormtrooper Hux, Kylo Ren, Sith Empire, or Sith Trooper right there. And Captain Phasma, don't really need the Zeta, but it's in preparation for the Omicron. And Palpatine with Mara, Jade, and Vader have been so incredible for it. I have a lot more Zetas I could be upgrading, but I'm kind of holding on to them right now. Let me show you what we're farming. So I wasn't 100% sure what we were going to do in 2022 because there wasn't a lot that happened for new players. And it kind of felt weird just starting over again and kind of doing more or less the same. It was either I was going to do another Supreme Leader Kylo Ren account or push for Sith Eternal. Those are the two most logical things for the most part for new players. Or of course you can go for gas. Again, there's not one farming guide out there. There's good farming guides and there's bad farming guides. But for the most part, you can't go wrong going one of many directions here. I was planning on maybe just doing a new Sith Eternal account because Sith Eternal is looking really enticing after this past year. You could go for the Revens as a new account. You know, there's a lot of ways to go about it, but I do feel like with the current way Galaxy Heroes and the new Grand Arena changes, everyone needs a Galactic Legend at some point. You're just delaying the inevitable. I firmly believe you need to hop on a track that works towards a Galactic Legend. And this goes into the conversation. What are we doing right now? For sure, after this lovely poll, you guys gave me lots and lots of feedback on this poll here that I posted the other day. I asked, what do you want to see? Do you want me to just stop playing the current free-to-play account, start a new one, get SLKR, then start a new account? Overwhelming 77% of you guys, out of a lot of votes that were submitted, want to see me keep the current free-to-play account and build on top of it. So we're slightly alternate plan because I thought maybe you guys did not want to see the same account and you wanted a new one. But we already made some good progress towards Jedi Knight Revan. As you may have saw in the account, we have our 7-star Jolie. We're almost at a 7-star Zalbar. Getting mission to 7 stars isn't that bad, and it's pretty easy to get Jedi Knight Revan. So we're going to finish that accidental project, I should say, and get our Jedi Knight Revan. And what I really want to do, since you need a Relic 7 Emperor Palpatine, if we're going to keep this account going in 2022, whether or not I start a new account or not, I'm pushing for Sith Eternal. Palpatine Vader is fantastic now with Mara Jade. They're really good with Mara Jade. And it just kind of, as we kind of said in our free-to-play farming guide last year, when you got Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, the next door neighbor to him is Sith Eternal. And it's working out to be that way. We are going to get our Palpatine up and running. I've been wanting an excuse to get my Vader up and running. I'm starting to farm my Colonel Stark because I want Imperial Troopers. Imperial Troopers got even better this year with the introduction of Iden Versio, and then of course the Dark Trooper being added last year. Imperial Troopers are so much fun. Best non-legendary, non-Omicron team in Galaxy Heroes. So once we get our Revan characters up in line, we're gonna start building up our Imperial Troopers, start building up the characters for Sith Eternal, and I think that's gonna be the next logical place. And of course, I think since we already have one Revan, the other thing we're gonna be passively farming as well is the Sith Empire to build up to Darth Revan, and of course, Darth Malak. That's the great thing about this. I know some people put this focus, yes, the Galactic Legend is the end goal, but you can do a lot of things at once. And the nice thing is now that they kind of eased up stun guns, stun cuffs, and Carbantes a little bit in 2021, the core gear that should have been fixed a long time ago, I'll be able to gear up some of these characters fast. And hopefully, once we get some of those core Sith Eternal stuff ready to go, we're going to start getting our next Revan and shoot for Malak, which oddly enough, I wish I made a video about it. I helped my uncle unlock his Malak with a very low gear Revan's crew to get him unlocked. So I already got a little bit of experience that I did this year behind the scenes around the Christmas season. So long story short, Could there be improvements? Oh yeah, the game needs a lot more improvements when it comes to the new player experience. I think they're making some progress with the gear alleviation. We're waiting on the next phases of it, but really the ships is miserable. Ships are miserable. I can't tell. I literally took me several months to farm Kylo Ren's command shell. It is not cool. Not cool. And luckily, Sith Eternal, you only need the TIE Bomber, which isn't all that bad. You don't need a full entire fleet, but even when you push for the Executor at some point, I hope ships get some sort of fix this year in 2022 here. So again, to summarize, is there gonna be a new guide? There will be a new guide, but it's nothing gonna be transformative. Unlike going from 2020 to 21, a lot changed going in there. We got our first Galactic Legends, yada, 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 all that other fun stuff. This year, we're gonna kind of just focus on building on top of what we currently have and just updating this guide to show where Master Kenobi is, as well as Lord Vader, which I guess we can kind of say, I'll give quick thoughts on Lord Vader, Master Kenobi, Executor. Those are all very end game. If there's someone that's gonna be able to get into a great guild out the get-go, and they can do Geonosis territories, which it's not realistic for new players to get into a GOTV ready guild, I would say ideally I would love to get Master Kenobi first. Wat Tambor is the biggest gate, and of course the Relic 8s as well. But if you don't find getting Wat Tambor that menacing or the Relic 8s, you're able to get, you wail on Relic 8s, whatever the case might be. I could see Master Kenobi being a feasible guide to start off. I don't think that's going to be our guide for 2022 because it's not practical for new players. Lord Vader, I'm telling people to stay away from, unless you already have Bad Batch. And of course, General Anakin Skywalker, there's not much need to like, oh, I got to get Lord Vader right now. 2022 might be different. Lord Vader might be a lot better. Executor, this is a looking a little bit farther. We don't quite know how the Razor Crest is going to be farmable, but I'm tempted, once we get Sith Eternal, depending on how the Razor Crest is farmable, since we've already built, we're building up Piet for Imperial Troopers, we got Houndstooth, we got our Vader and whatnot. I'm very tempted to get Executor at that point, which is kind of a mini ship Galactic Legend at that point. But we can't quite make that integrated into our future plans until we know how Razor Crest is going to be farmable, because I do not have it yet on the free-to-play account for this year. And then this one's interesting. We have a Star Killer. Star Killer, all of his requirements are ending up so far. We have 3 out of 4 of them. They're all landing on the Cantina table. And I'm a big fan of Cantina farms. The only problem I have with Star Killer is, one, the requirements you farm, they don't build teams. So I don't know if that's a good first team to build, because Talon doesn't, you need a team for Talon. Dash and Dart needs it. They don't work together. Unlike Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, you're farming requirements that also work together in the meantime. And Star Killer also is just Grand Arena focus, which Grand Arena did get a lot more important, but the game is a lot more important than just Grand Arena alone. You need multiple teams to work yourself into the Grand Arena ladder. But I think Star Killer would be nice if you already have like a Galactic Legend. Like, pushing for Star Killer might actually not be horrible for where I am right now, but I don't think Star Killer is going to be that first new thing in 2022 that people should farm. So that's kind of why it's a little bit weird that this year, unlike every single year where there's something new that might change things, that maybe instead of Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, you'd push for something else. This year in 2021, or last year in 2021, it was mostly end game type of stuff. Difficult things of relegates, high thresholds to get into play with those type of units. But you guys let me know down below what you think. I think it's cool to see the progress we made in the past year. And really the only thing that's held me back really was the great nerf of 2021 killed my enjoyment for Galaxy a little bit. I didn't have enough energy to play 2 accounts. So definitely this was the progress you're seeing. It should have been a lot better because, 1, I wasn't an amazing guild, and 2, took a lot of days off. There's some days I just didn't log in. So I definitely easily missed out on 14, 20 days. And also I have this habit. I don't log in multiple times a day to check all the shipments on the free-to-play account, which you should. That's gonna help gear things up a little bit faster. Too busy. I play literally 10 other games, mobile games right now. Got other things. You know, the stuff that you see behind you doesn't happen all by itself. But nonetheless, if there's someone that's putting 120% effort in, plenty of people that started along with me last year have Supreme Leader Kylo Ren free to play as of this month. So you could get a Galactic Legend within a year, and I hope to be able to share that moment with you in the next month or 2 here in Galaxy Heroes. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, comment down below, subscribe so you're not missing anything. Would love to hear your thoughts on what you would like to see for 2022 when it comes to new player stuff. But until then, always remember, it's great to be in the Empire today.